whatever. So I've been listening to American Idiot a lot, and American Idiot and I, Scarred Hope, Squirt Gun, and Green Day, we have a history, right? Because when Green Day were recording Heart Like a Hand Grenade, 2003, 2004 type of thing, and Scarred Hope were recording Blue Collar Suicide, Mass Giorgini and Billy Joe Armstrong had been producing like Riverdales and stuff like that before that, working together. So Mass was a really good producer. Back in the day, Green Day used to wear Squirt Gun t-shirts like in Maximum Rock and Roll and like in the Australian like magazines and stuff that we used to buy, the rock and roll magazines. So before American Idiot, right, Billy Joe had done his big albums already, and he didn't know if his band was going to be hit or miss, right? So they were recording stuff, right? They had another album of stuff they recorded and all the shit, right? Essentially, what I understand was Billy Joe was and the guys were learning their art. They were going from like dudes that were punk dudes that got real famous and were good at playing punk live and everything to being like dudes that worked out how to apply it in a scientific way like Flav and Mass Giorgini do it. Okay, so, and Dan Lumley and that. So Matt Skiba's voice is so fucking good on that Gideon Glum song. They're great. They're a great band, but Matt's fucking just so good. I love him. Like his progressions and stuff, like his vocal changes, his singing is so good. So Rebecca and I were having like a breakup type of thing, right? When we were together, and she was pregnant, but she like she had a miscarriage and shit. And I was recording this album, Blue Collar Suicide, and I was under all this pressure. And I was having like a nervous breakdown because I had to record all my vocals in one day. Okay. All the vocals, not just my vocals, but all the vocals in one day. So, but before that, yeah, just before I started to record in the afternoon, I think it was in the afternoon, right? About 2:00 in the afternoon, we were outside having a joint or something. Walked back inside, Jeff and I, and Jeremy were smoking weed across from the park in Albion, in the football park, across from the recording studio, Foxhole Studios in Albion, where we recorded the album, which was like home to us, man, that industrial area. So we, it was a good time. So Mass called up Billy Joe Armstrong and was speaking to Billy Joe Armstrong on the phone, and Billy Joe Armstrong wished us luck. And Mass also called up Jesse Michaels and spoke to Jesse on the phone, and he wished us luck. So my connection with Billy Joe is when I see the things that he was going through when he was recording Heart Like a Hand Grenade, which is American Idiot, was the same type of stuff that I was going through when I was recording Blue Collar Suicide. And Mass is the connection between Scarred Hope and Green Day. Because, so Green Day, The Living End were discovered by Green Day. The Living End wouldn't be shit if it wasn't for Billy Joe. Billy Joe gave Chris his chance, gave them their shot. And then they became big. And then Mass was looking for like the next Living End. Okay. So with me in my show, you'll see before that I've got like, I had, it looked like makeup on. Okay. When I had melanoma, what I had to do to step out into the sun in Vietnam was to completely coat my face in zinc, in Australian zinc, but the type of zinc which is like a foundation makeup zinc, but it's zinc. It's like Australian zinc, right? So I'd have zinc cream all over my face, and sometimes it would be uneven and shit, and it would look like makeup. But what it was it was zinc, like Surf Lifesaver zinc. But I put it all around my eyes and everything and around here because I had a fucking big ass skin cancer there. You see? Had a skin cancer. So I covered it. So like with Tony Fonati, you don't know him. So what happened was Tony invited me to this thing in the city, and bikies were hunting me. And I said to Tony, man, I want to go, but I'm not going to go because it's going to be too difficult for me to get back from the city. And it's dangerous and shit for me at the moment, right? And then so when I went to the gym, all these Kiwi guys are like, did you go to the party? I was like, yeah, I went to the party, blah, blah, blah. And I just ignored it and I just kept on going, right? Because the thing is I've known Tony since I was fucking 20, man. I'm 45 now. I've known him since I was 20. So they're like thinking like, this guy thinks he's going to be able to squeeze the last bit of energy out of Tony Fonati and all the shit. It's like, dude, we recorded with him 23 years ago, bro. I know him. He taught me how to fucking do music, man. Just like Mass taught me how to do music. So I do reggae how Tony taught me how to do reggae. And then I do punk how Mass and fucking Billy Joe taught me how to do punk. Dan Lumley fucking taught me how to do punk. Those dudes, man, my heroes. So you can see part of my face that's preserved, the skin is very well preserved, is around here because I used to coat my face in that. So at the place here, I wear ridiculous looking clothes sometimes. My mum doesn't live here all the time, but like we've got shit around, like my mum's stuff. So if it's fucking freezing cold, I will wear a Fallschirm Jaeger moo with ridiculous polka dots and shit on it because it's like the Big Lebowski, like the dude abides. You know what I mean? So they think that I am a tranny, or like I was listening to this thing before, like a homo transvestite or some shit. Like that's what they were saying, that like they think that Goering was or some shit like that, right? You know why they say that? Because I have a picture of President Trump and Hun Sen in traditional Cambodian clothes on my phone. So people see this and they think this has got something to do with transsexuality. So there's bodyguards in the background. This is President Trump and Hun Sen, both of the parties that I worked for before. Okay. Being friends. This photo is an important photo. Why do I keep this photo? This photo is my successful assignment. Okay. So I was the middleman that did the work that was required for them to get back together. And that photo is important to me. So these people are like, he's a homo, he's a fucking transsexual, because he'll wear warm clothes. He won't go and buy warm clothes. He'll just wear what's in storage at his family's place. Like the storage at our clothes and shit. A lot of the warm weather clothes that I have here is like my brother's old shit or my mum's old shit from Charleville or something like that, from where it's really cold. Okay? So people are telling everybody that I'm a transsexual, that I'm a homosexual, that I'm this, I'm that, right? So the whole time I've understood that I'm being stalked by people and they have the back door to my phone and they can watch everything. Okay? And it's like when I'm speaking to these chicks here and shit, you speak down to me, you rate me or whatever. Look, B words out there. You are like nowhere and no one, and I'm fucking as famous as Billy Joe Armstrong is worldwide. I'm that famous in Vietnam and Cambodia. And nearly fucking, if I was able to go back to America, I would fucking be, and I'm already am. I have an underground following in America with some of the biggest, most influential artists in the world. These motherfuckers have poisoned the well with a lot of those people, or they've tried to. But what you didn't realize is I'm a police recruit that I was told by these police and these dudes that I was doing karaoke with and shit, right? That are cops now, that were recruits and stuff, right? not supposed to say this, but this is kind of like how it works, right? You got to do some things and prove to them who you kind of are before they'll take you. So like this thing you're doing as a COVID marshal is a good thing. You're going to and so there was a female police officer up in Nambour. She's got like grey, blonde, black hair. She's a nice lady. And she was in there with a young recruit with a mustache and the recruit sidebars on and everything. And then I was reporting to her and I reported something as it happened. And then next week, recruiting contacted me. I think that lady put in a good word for me. But when I got to the thing, all the police there, they were like hazing me. And they were like, this policewoman has faked this relationship with him. So we're going to put him on this Ferris wheel of fuck. And like, we 100% know because he sent us his medical files and shit because he was a police recruit that he doesn't have STDs. We fucking know, dude. We know that he's a sperm donor because he's a police recruit. So why are you letting the fucking whole Caloundra command come after me like I'm the fucking enemy when I'm like somebody who's been working essentially like nearly undercover, but like not undercover because I spoke to to Marty Hunt, and then he told me to move forward on this shit until he had all of the fucking CCTV in place 6 months in time. Okay. So you've concocted something about, so it's like that movie True Lies with Arnold Schwarzenegger. This is the thing that they're starting to realize, like they don't realize it. They can't do it. They can't put two and two together. They're running around thinking that they're playing spies and all this shit when I'm a fucking spy. It's ridiculous. And when I mean spy, like that was my profession. Security guard that turned into a spy. Investigator turned into a spy, right? So I have books in my bookshelf about Richard Sorgay, okay? I have books in my bookshelf about Pham Swan An, okay? I have the Memory Room by Koch. I've got I've got the history of the Peloponnesian War, right, which is espionage and that. I like to read about, I've got a whole bunch of stuff about feudal Japan and espionage in feudal Japan. Okay. So it's always been my interest, okay? So I see in Australia the army guys, right, SAS dudes and stuff, like I've seen it with my brother and the people around them. What they try to teach guys being a soldier is, hey, go and kill for us, or this is how you kill, or something like that. That may be the thing, but with me, like espionage is the profession that I became involved in. And when I was young, I used to go to Hatfield House in Redcliffe where I used to smoke those Camel cigarettes, and I bought the James Bond books written by the original books, man. Like the old school paperbacks in the 80s. Like I'm talking about 86 or 87 or something when I was a little kid. Like Diamonds Are Forever and shit. Like the original fucking paperbacks of James Bond. And I used to read that. And then I remember the movie that made a big splash on me was when Ian Fleming, right? When what's her name's son? Sean Connery's son played Ian Fleming in that movie about not the Office of Strategic Services, but like MI, or like the British version of that, right? When I was young. So I like James Bond. Of course I like James Bond. I did stuff very similar to James Bond, and I'm very famous for doing it. It's not like... So when I came back here, I had hand, foot, and mouth from stepping in contaminated water in a third world country. So if you're in Vanuatu and you stepped in a fucking place where a whole bunch of people were dropping their dirty nappies or the Solomon Islands and you stepped in that landfill in water that was this deep and you spent like a day and a half with your feet, 2 days, 3 days with your feet in that, okay, do you think you would get sick? If you came back and you had like marks all over your body from that, would you have AIDS? Would that be evidence that you have AIDS? I stepped in contaminated water. Like, I contaminated myself by prolonged exposure to contaminated water. Okay? That didn't give me AIDS or anything like that. It gave me this foot, hand, and mouth thing, like threw me so extremely that I ended up with cancer and all this fucking fucked up stuff. Okay? So when you guys were throwing down on me, I always had the same opinion, but in court, you can't fucking say shit. Can't say shit in court. I was sick, man. So they've been, one side of the QPS is trying to recruit me. The other side of the QPS is trying to fucking destroy me and silence me and steal my legacy. So it's strange, right? So like, and this is it. The other day when I said, fuck you, and I got in the Sunshine Coast thing and I was yelling at the police dude here, Gold Coast police liked my fucking posts on Facebook after that. The Gold Coast police don't like this command. That's what I found out. So is it good that I'm connected to all these fucking digital brands and that the Queensland police are supporters of me and I'm supporters of them, but I've got this complicated situation because these guys keep on attacking me and telling me that we've created this scientific policing profile of you. Right, you have, but it's wrong, cunt. It was wrong from the beginning. And I could explain it to you in the way that Tristan explained it to me and now what I understand about scientific policing, but I know much more about scientific policing than most people. So everywhere I go, I'm negatively primed. So people are always conspiring behind my back for no particular reason, but because they've been told some ridiculous rubbish from some stupid fucking cop. So I'm stuck here, Groundhog Day. I can't go anywhere. So if I walk around, I speak to people. They think it's like he's spending all of his focus here trying to fucking do this, do that. You know what I mean? Like, dude, I'm stuck here. If you look at the pictures of me in Vietnam, I was always sitting in a coffee shop. I'm famous. I'm famous as fuck, but I'm also famous that you can find me in a coffee shop with my office set up. That's what I used to do all the time, every fucking day. You could find me anywhere in a coffee shop. And in Vietnam, the cops and we just hang out in the coffee shop, drink coffee and shit. So, yeah. I was sick before, and how you guys fucking went with it. It's like, this guy needs antibiotics because he's got fucking blood poisoning. If you've ever had blood poisoning before, you don't know how fucking tripped out you are when you have fucking blood poisoning. It's fucked up. And with that melanoma, I had blood poisoning. I had sepsis. I nearly died from sepsis. And then I could have went evil and done the shit like, but I couldn't have anyway because everybody knew from the beginning that whatever they were saying about me was fucking rubbish. So it's all we're more important than you, more important than you. Well, fucking go somewhere else, man. If we switch out the command here, it will be better. Because as I said, at least then we'd have people that would know that I'm not the fucking bad guy and they would know my real records. And the fact that the Premier of this state has access and knows that there's two sets of records, one set of records which is legitimate and another set which is completely fabricated. I don't have syphilis. What happened was this. The doctor told me that I have median chain something or other. ACADM gene. This isn't an STD. This isn't an STI. This is a fucking genetic marker. Okay. So, and it occurs in the population, right? In our population. 1 in 66. Where is it? The carrier rate in the general population for this is 1 in 66. A variant of 268 gene. Okay. A variant of, so that means 1 in 66 people in Australia, according to Jason Hunt's blue blood fucking white supremacist thing, that he turned this into syphilis, right? 1 in 66 people in Australia have this. So if you're 1 in 66 people that have the ACADM gene, there's a chance that you might be referred to as Tom Hanks out of Philadelphia. You might be discriminated against. You might not have a job. You might be called a fucking sick, crazy piece of shit by every fucking dumb, dim-witted fucking 12-year-old in the fucking world, right? So I see these cops as 12-year-olds. Like a lot of you cunts, right? Where were you in 1999 when I was up on stage with Scarred Hope, the first year of Scarred Hope? So the first year of security was the first year of Scarred Hope. Okay? When I was 19. 18, 19. Scarred Hope, right? Scarred Hope. The Scarred Hope shit. Okay? Were you born? No. So they're like, this fucking weird fucking 20. They think I'm 28. It's weird because I look good, right? But everyone's like, this weirdo 28-year-old. It's like, man, I'm 45, dude. I just look good for my age. Look here, you can tell I'm old if you see my chicken neck. If you see all the fucking scars on my face. But they're like, this whack-ass 28-year-old thinks he's going to be like the chats, like pricey. Like this whack-ass, crazy 28-year-old fucking dude who says he's a barman and a fucking security guard and shit, and he's a fucking lying fucking piece of shit. Look at this whack-ass motherfucker. This whack-ass 28-year-old. He thinks he's going to record a seminal album and then inspire Violent Soho and all these fucking cocksuckers to create this fucking style of punk. So you talk about the Democrats. You motherfuckers are not official fucking anything. And you do. So this is it, right? So the police here are deliberately compromising America, and they're doing stuff to create trouble for America and take money away from me, take money away from the Hawaii Defense Intelligence Agency Command. And the Brisbane police know that they're fucking in the wrong for doing it. Okay? So that's what I want to say. Don't see me as anti-police. I fucking love the police, okay? It just, there's a lot of police that don't love me, that don't like me, that don't respect me. Okay?